Hey, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Tazman's AI Dungeon. I actually said it right that time. So I was thinking what exactly I wanted to do this episode, and I think we're gonna kind of look at some of the other ones, but I did kind of do it beforehand just to see those other generations and what the actual difference was. So we're going to take a really quick look at those, and then I think what we're going to do is add a script. We're going to add the I think it's Lewd Leah's auto cards, and maybe I don't know if we'll actually be able to really experience it, um because I think you have to go quite a bit before it says, okay, you've got enough of this. I'm going to generate a card about it. So anyway, we'll maybe try it, but let's go ahead and continue on. So in our last episode, we finished, we looked at the character creation. We looked at multi options. Is that what it would be called? Multiple selections, something like that. And if we come in now, so we did everything with the empty. So I went in and just kind of looked at these. I didn't really go into depth, so we're going to kind of do that. But it seems like the main thing that makes this fantasy, cyberpunk, zombie, mystery, and apocalyptic is, and then of course random. So if we go in here and we tell it to generate it, you'll see, is it here or is it when I actually go in? It's right here. So you'll see that it actually generates the first part of the story for you, and then also adds the writing style being elegant, dramatic, vivid prose. I think everything does vivid prose, with the theme being fantasy adventure. So I think that's the big thing. And then the default is, hey, it's their world apparently, of Larian. Oh, that reminds me, I need to check if I had any additional comments. I forgot to do that. I'm sorry. Oh, and by the way, also to anyone that on my Discord sent me private messages or whatever, wishing me happy birthday. Thank you very much. It's very, very much appreciated. Last Tuesday was my birthday, July 15th. So let me just check really quick. I don't, there might have actually been something for AI Dungeon. So let me check. Boom and boom. I kind of feel like there was. Yes, 4 days ago. Let me see if there was anything before that. There's been a lot on my Obsidian episodes, which is really awesome. So that was 8 days ago. So that one's already done. Okay, yeah, so 4 days ago I got a comment on episode 5. I don't think that was actually the last one, but that's okay. Since I don't have a lot of other comments, I'll go ahead and read it for now anyway. So it says, thank you so much for this. A lot of this wasn't intuitive to me at all, and this has been a huge help. So that was Deadcat323. So if you're up to this episode and watching, thank you for the comment, and I am very glad that you could find them useful, and hopefully you continue finding them useful. And I think, yes, that was the only other comment. So let's, now that I've done that, I've said birthday wishes, thanking for that. Let's go look at some of the others. I don't know that we really need to generate the world, but I just wanted to kind of look at these and see my thing. I think the biggest thing is going to be right here where it says fantasy adventure, for the theme. If we hit, I think if we hit back, it doesn't actually create anything. So mystery, here we can see mystery, investigation, crime, and deception. And then everything seems to start kind of that way. And I think these are even the default starts when you go into the one that has all the multi-select and stuff. I don't think it really has anything anywhere else that would be relevant. It's pretty much just the author's note and this, which is just to start you with one. So so we have mystery investigation there. We have probably zombie. Actually, it doesn't say zombie. I'm kind of surprised. I would have expected this to say zombie. Up here, it definitely says zombie, but down here, it just says paranoia and survival. So that one actually kind of surprises me. And if we go to cyberpunk, we get advanced technology. So that kind of makes sense. And then of course there's that up there. And the final one is apocalyptic, which is survival, anarchy, post-apocalyptic. Okay, so anyway, like I said, no real reason for us to create those. I don't think, yeah, it didn't create all those. But what I was thinking we could do is maybe in our police chase one, we could go add Lewd Leah's thing. So what we want to do is I'm going to open in a new tab by middle clicking. And I'm assuming, can't remember how you look up. It doesn't actually, can I change that? No, that would help. Let's do Lewdleah, maybe? Lewd Leah. Okay, this is gonna be, how about auto cards maybe? Wait. Oh, this might be it. Let me check. No, this definitely isn't it. That's not Lewd Leah. Hold on. How about if we type auto, no, because there's gonna be auto cards everywhere. I didn't actually really think, oh, you know what? I think most people actually give credit. So if we go in here, Lewd Leah, there we go, right there. Haha, wait, maybe this one. All right, so let's do that. Control C, go ahead and paste this up here, Control V. Okay, so this should be, yep, Lewd Leah. Outdated script. So it's this one right here that's auto cards. So I don't actually think this is one you actually play. It just has the instructions and stuff. I mean, it says begin. I've never actually done it. But what we want to do here, or what we need here, is this right here. This link right here, which I'm going to, I don't, yeah, I guess I need all that. So we'll grab that, throw it in here, go ahead and hit paste. There we go. Oh, I moved that. Hold on just a sec. Sorry. Burp. Okay. So now that we've got that, I'm going to go ahead and enter. And so it's actually really easy. I don't have this quite centered right, to install the auto cards. So what we're going to do in our scenario here, we're going to go ahead here. We're going to click here. And we're going to go into our scenario. And I'm thinking, oh, it did create them. I'll delete them later. Where is our police chat? Here it is right here. So we're going to go ahead here and do edit on that. And we're going to go read these as we go through. So as you can see, here's the instruction, create a new scenario, open the details, which is kind of what we did, which is right here. We're going to do details, right? Then it says, scroll to the bottom where it says edit scripts. It's actually really well put together. Then we have this little script window, right? So the next thing we do is we delete all the code that's in that tab, and then we copy and paste this. So if we click this, it copied it to the clipboard. We move this over here so I don't keep clicking it. We can go here, we can hit Control A and delete, and then Control V to paste that little bit. So this is going to be, wait, did it say do it in the library? I can't remember real quick. Select the input tab. Oh, I didn't say that. So we're not on the input. I'm going to hit Control Z, Control Z. We want to go here and then Control A, nope, Control A, delete, right? Okay, I'm going to close that one. So let's just make sure. So select the input, delete all the code, copy and paste this in the input tab. So it's just this tiny bit that's going in there. I'm going to hit V for pasting, and then we're going to come back. Then it says select the context tab. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go in here, delete all the code in the context tab, which is pretty much self-explanatory how we do that. Copy and paste this code for the context tab. So we copy that, we come in here and we paste that. once again, just a little bit. So your context tab, your input tab. The last one is your output tab. So once again, select the output tab, delete the code. We'll go ahead and even do the copy and paste part. So of these little tabs, that is all. I keep clicking over there. Control A, delete, and Control V. So this is our output tab. So these are our 3 tabs that it's telling us to do. This should be back to what it was. And now there's just one little bit more that we need to do. So if we come down here, it says, then select the library tab on the left, which is the main one we were doing. That's where I had the tiny bit of stuff. That's where we're putting a bunch of stuff. So it says delete the code in that tab, which we did not do yet. So we'll go ahead and delete that. And then we go and grab the library code from here. So I'm going to open that. And you'll see this one is much, 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 much bigger. And this is what makes it work. If you know JavaScript, then you can actually do that. If you actually come here as well, you actually have all the ones all nice and, you know, easy to find just right here. So this is the library one. We're going to go ahead and click copy raw file, I think. I usually just do Control A, Control C. So we'll see if that worked. Yes, it did. So here you can see this is the main meat of the actual script. So now that we've done that, it's probably going to tell us save. So we've done that, delete, we opened that, we pasted that, we copied the full code from the page, we click the big yellow save button. So that would be this guy right there. And now all those little dots went away, telling us it's saved. It might even tell us there. Nope. And you're done. Keep in mind that any adventure played from your scenario will include the auto cards. This also applies retroactively. Now, one thing to keep in mind if you do the auto cards. So if we go, now that we've done this, we can hit back. And now we have the auto cards in here. This is where you want to give Lewd Leah some credit in the description. Say, hey, auto cards are enabled. One thing I would recommend, I mean, if we go look at this, I'll show you one thing I don't like. Hopefully we'll see it pretty quickly. But sometimes you come these things and you'll see credit to Lewd Leah, which is awesome. I think it's really good. And of course, I'm not going to see it. There's some that are simple like this, auto cards enabled. I've seen some that take up 2 lines that talk about Lewd Leah's auto cards, maybe has the link up front. You should really, if you want people to come to your thing, they have to get past this. See if there's a quick example anywhere. So I would recommend, yes, absolutely, give Lewd Leah the credit. Maybe just put AC enabled or just the first line. Only use the first line because you're only given 3 to pull someone in. But definitely put it down in here underneath, you know, the main description of your story. But I would recommend not taking up all the space up here saying, you know, the Lewd Leah's auto cards, go check her out, blah, 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 if it's a her. So anyway, now we've finished that. If we go into our scenario, which is right here, and click play. So one thing this is gonna, oh man, I forgot we have to do like a billion different things here. So this will be T4zzIE, I guess. Describe the getaway car. We'll just say MUSTANG. I forgot I have to do all this. Who was this? Brian for brain, BRIAN. I'm not going to worry about uppercase and all that. Last name will be, I don't remember what I did there. What's a smart name? Maxwell, I guess. I don't know. The enforcer's name, I remember it was like Chet, and his last name was Stone. STONE. The money man name was Gil, I think. And Cash, I think. CACHE. So some things you'll want to do in that description, you want to say Lewd is enabled. You'll also want to mention that for it to work properly, you need to have memory turned on. And the way you do that is you come into gameplay here, go under the memory system, and make sure memory bank is turned on. So you want to make sure memory bank is on. That way it can actually properly use the Lewd. Now I believe it also generates a story card for you, which is this guy right here. So this is generated for you. It's the configure the auto cards. This is where if people decide they don't like it, they can go ahead and disable it. They can do other options in here, maybe to make it a little more efficient. But the main one right here is disable auto cards. The default is false. You change that to true. The auto cards, when you first pull up the adventure, it will say auto cards are disabled. But then we also have show the detailed guide, which is false. I've never done that myself. Could be something cool to try. Delete all automatic story cards, false. I'm assuming that is if you want to clear it and not go through every one and delete it. Maybe you can set that to true and it will actually go delete all the cards for you. Reset config. Pin this config near the top. You can pin cards? How do you pin cards? We'll have to look at that. Minimum turns, cooldown for new cards. So it looks like 22 turns usually. I don't know if it has to wait 22 turns before it creates the first card or if it just gets enough information. The maximum entry length, so it tries trimming it down to get only the stuff that's necessary. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. I'm not going to go through it because that'll take forever. I'm hoping we can actually get this to generate a new a card for us. So what I want to do, and I'm thinking, since we have a Mustang, we actually have our Mustang right here. You drive a Mustang. I actually have, that I've used in a different story, a description of a nice, cool, awesome looking Mustang. It is my dream car, so of course I'm going to do this, Control C, and this is like an iridescent paint job and all that fun stuff. So it's a GT Mustang, purple teal, iridescent color shifting paint job, manual transmission, so it has bells and whistle. I'm thinking, well, maybe it won't even do that. I'm not going to worry about it. So anyway, that's our getaway card. Now let's go ahead. I'm not going to read everything because I get a little tongue-tied and my voice is already a little scratchy. So we're just going to hit enter X amount of times and see if we get a thing to show us that a card is being generated. And then we'll kind of look at what it generates. Now, if you ask me when it generates a card, its triggers and stuff, it goes way over the top if you ask me. And I might be wrong. I might not be fully understanding how it works, but I'll show you what I mean and what I've noticed as far as triggers go. So if you want to read what's going on, you know, pause you might not even have to pause if you're a fast reader. The Mustang's engine roaring as you charge towards blah blah blah. Come on, give me a card generation. We're at 19 minutes. Come on. I'm just gonna keep hitting it. I imagine I don't think it's necessarily dependent on what you're actually typing and stuff, because I've seen it generate cards for things that just have happened in the story. So hopefully this will work. Keep going straight. Maintenance exit. Sweet. I don't think we've got away yet. Come on, generate me a card already. I seriously don't think you have to go 22 actions before it does the first card. Maybe it does. Maybe I just get so involved in my story that I don't realize how many times I'm clicking an action button before it generates it. But we should be getting, man, I would have expected, when I ran this and was playing it myself, I probably lost the cops in maybe 7, 8 actions. But then again, I was also typing stuff, so maybe it has something to do with that. Looks like we might not be in the car anymore. Possibly. Come on, generate a card already. Jeez. Do. Tunnel entrance. I'm kind of skimming it as we go. Chet mutters. Watch Chet get mad at me and just kill me or something. Are we still in the car? Take it easy. I don't think we are. Wait. Sends a jolt through the vehicle. I'm in some kind of tunnel. Come on, you can generate a card for us already. Jeez. All right, well, if it doesn't generate a card, I'll tell you what it does. Usually when you click the continue button, like so, instead of popping up this, you'll get a little message down here and it'll pop up a little pop-up window at the top that says generating auto card, and it will give the name that it's going to generate. And then it down here, it will have generating, it'll say something like generating card or creating card or something like that. And it'll have a percentage, usually. Oh, there we go. Tazzy. Okay. So as you can see here, it now says, please select continue. So up there, it said it's generating Tazzy. It's 50%. So now we click it again. Oh, I'm so glad it actually did it. We're 22 minutes and it finally did it. I wonder, and now you can see, so it had me hit continue at 50. It's generating a bunch of the stuff for Tazzy. Then it says 100%. Now what it's going to do is go look at the story and actually do our story. Now you can see here that we now have a card called Tazzy, and you can usually identify it as an auto card because you get the little tilde, or the, not tildes, the little curly braces, the word title, and then the name of the card, and then a closed curly brace. And then here you can actually see it generates a decent amount of information about that. And that's just based off of what it's gathered from the story. Usually does a pretty good job. Sometimes it generates cards that aren't necessarily anything I care about. So I would recommend deleting those. It's not going to affect the actual story or anything. Cards are, a case-by-case basis. But here's where, this is where I was talking about. So as you can see, we have Tazzy. I don't know how much of importance it is. I like to put a space in front of that and then a comma after that. It's, from what I've read, it doesn't care about case, but it does care about space. So what this is going to require is that Tazzy has a space before it, and doesn't matter what's behind it. It just needs to be space Tazzy. But if you look here, we actually have a space Tazzy. Then we have a Tazzy with a single quote. Then we have a double quote with Tazzy. Oh, I just messed it all up. Can I hit Z? We have a double quote with Tazzy and then a comma. Then we have a Tazzy period. Then we have a Tazzy question mark, exclamation point, semicolon. We have a single quote before the Tazzy. We have a parenthesis Tazzy, or open parenthesis Tazzy. We have Tazzy close parenthesis comma, and we have Tazzy colon. If I understand properly the triggers, this first one that we actually have here, the space Tazzy, should be well, actually, I guess it wouldn't with the parentheses. So I guess you could do some of those, but generally, this is going to catch everything, I would say. other than those ones that have something in the front. However, it's not always critical for it to grab the story card right the first time that it happens, um, because it actually has the contents from the previous story card or the actual character from the story itself. So, in my opinion, I usually will have the name with a space in front of it. And then after that would be the name T4zzMIE, something like that. And then space and maybe the last name M4NN or something like that. And then a comma. Uh, and that's how usually I will set up my cards for player or characters and stuff. I'm not 100% sure um, if I have two characters, let's say I have two characters named Sarah that are NPCs. One's Sarah Thompson and one is Sarah Blackwood. If both of them have the Sarah as the beginning, from my experience, it seems to know who is in the room with me. And if it's Sarah Blackwood and I just say, hey, Sarah, come here for a second, and then I, look at them or I do something that will trigger something specific about the Sarah I'm thinking about, it seems to be pretty smart about that. However, having the Sarah, there is a chance that it's going to confuse it and grab the wrong one. But that means every time you say Sarah, you actually have to have the full name with it. So I haven't quite found the workaround for that. So anyway, it also creates in the notes section this chunk right here. And I'm not 100% sure. It almost seems to me like this is a history because this is not passed to the AI at all. And it seems to me that like what it does is when it goes and adds new things, if it gets to a point where it's bigger than it needs to, it removes things, but I think it puts it down here. So in this case, it's probably, it had so much information on Tazzy that it says, oh, I have more, I need to put it somewhere. So it actually put it here, and it's because of this limit. Actually, I have no idea because this is only 669. So yeah, more investigation needs to be done with that. Now, side note, we're ending here, so thank you for your patience so far. In the next episode, one thing I'd like to look at is I have actually found something that I've mentioned in other episodes. Like I wish there was some kind of just a chance type of mechanic, and I think I found one. But for a free player especially, it seems like it's very expensive token wise. So I was thinking maybe in the next episode we'll take a look at that. I want to show you it and show you why I think it's super expensive token wise, and maybe we can come up with a way to still make it work, but actually simplify it quite a bit. So we'll do that hopefully in the next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something new about auto cards and how they're really easy to install. All you do is add those 4 scripts into your script section. You cannot add it to an adventure you're in. It has to be a scenario that you create. So there's definitely that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Um, Click that little notification bell. Join my Discord channel. Tell other people about my YouTube channel. Check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. Everybody wins. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.